All right, so we are officially starting, whatever the hell official means. When you come on, if you will come on and be ready to be on video, be ready to be on audio. Check your mic and then mute so that I don't have to. Very, very helpful. I really prefer strongly, and I encourage everybody to be on video. And if you feel uncomfortable being on video, be on video more. Okay? Yeah, that's all the more reason to be on video. You're going to see we love you, and then you're going to gradually start to love yourself more anyway. It's going to be fine. If you are out walking or running to the place where you want to sit down, don't be on video. If you're driving, don't be on video. If you're going to be like jerking off, you know, literally or figuratively, or running or anything like that, just stay off video. And the minute you get to where you can sit still in presence, switch on video. That's real simple, right? And that leads to the next point, which is presence. These sessions are not the time to be tweeting. Like if you're looking right now, you'll see something this one time that you've never seen before and you'll never see again. You'll see Samantha actually not being 100% present because she's helping me help people get in. Otherwise, Samantha is one of a few examples that you just watch, and you're going to see somebody going and then cry and then laugh, breathing and present from start to finish on the session. If you will do that, you're going to get infinitely more out of every session than if you're watching your cat walk by. Oh, wait, was that a Facebook notification I just got? The name of the game here, boys and girls, aliens and weirdos and miraculous beings that we all are, the name of the game here is presence. You dig? The name of the game here is presence. In a way, you could say level 5 liberation program is a place to learn and practice and benefit from presence while you are stepping into living as the infinite, unlimited being of presence you actually always were. And there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to be fascinating enough or brilliant enough to change your fucking life one speck. Nothing. Nothing. And trust me, I will say some fascinating, brilliant shit. You can count on that. But none of that's going to change your life. What's going to change your life is your presence to what happens here. If you believe that there is such a thing as bad words, you will want to exit and get a refund immediately. If you believe that there is such a thing as a bad word, that is very near to the center of why you suffer. And I honor your commitment to your suffering, and I suggest that you go join another program with total love and honor and respect. I do, just for your own comfort. Because I'm just going to shock you. You're going to be, I didn't know someone could say fuck that much in a 2-hour session. I had no idea it was even possible. Someone once told me, well, I would have enjoyed his program, but he said fuck too much. I didn't know that there was a number. That, like, is there a number of too many fucks? Nobody notified me, and I've been looking for the documentation. You know? So thank you for raising your hand, Daniela. And if there's such a thing as a fucking bad word, we are all screwed. We are all hopelessly screwed. I mean, because what if we're sleeping one night and one of those bad words comes and climbs in the bed with us with nefarious intent? Can you imagine? Well, Brian, you didn't read Messages in Water, where Masaru Emoto proved that words have power. No, it didn't have anything to do with the words. It had to do with intention. So that's one of the spells that we might just break in this party that we're having together, you and me. And let's see if housekeeping is done. So everybody knows you come on video as soon as you possibly can. Let me mute again. Everybody knows to come on, check their mic, stay on video, and then mute. Everybody knows we are not here for the chitty chat, like in a lot of things. We are here for presence. And this leads to the next thing that I'm going to say. You'll probably hear me joke about this 30 or 40 times. Thank you, Samantha. Very interesting. Couple people that couldn't get in. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to see if I can decipher this. The error message says that I'm on another meeting. They probably ought to try another browser, Samantha. If they switch to another browser, they might be able to get in. That might help. And everybody, bear with me and us. Understand, on the orientation session, this just happens. And it probably won't happen on any other sessions.
I had suggested
that happened to me too. I just backed out and went back in and was able to get on.
And I suggested that, and some people tried that and it didn't work. Okay.
Yeah. For some, and there's caching issues and all kind of other stuff. Everybody, you know, so this leads to where I was going anyway. So this is not, we've almost all heard the praises of patience, right? Hey, Carmel, good to see you. We've all heard the praises of patience. I say patience is absolutely, utterly delusional and worthless. Presence is the key. Patience turns into impatience and frustration. It runs out. Presence has no limit and no opposite. So being present. And if you be present on these sessions, you're going to discover something. You're going to discover that rather than waiting for the good shit, like even right now, some of you beautiful, wonderful, amazing, infinite beings are waiting for the show to start. Kurt, you can click on at the very top right on almost every device. It's at the top right. There's a button that's going to say speaker view or gallery view, and you can alternate to where you only see the active speaker or you see the gallery. Some people are going to enjoy gallery view a lot more, and some are going to way more enjoy just seeing the speaker. So you go with that the way you feel. My vote is always for gallery view. Just don't be distracted, be present. So right now, this theme that I'm on, and I'm going to be on it for a couple more minutes. Be absolutely, utterly, totally, and completely present. Do not wait for the good shit. Do not wait for the show to start. Did you ever hear the idea that there's only now? Anybody ever heard the idea there's only now, right? And we're all a bunch of spiritual fucks, so we know there's no past and no future. But we're sitting here waiting for the good shit to start. Listen to me. What if you were to begin to live your life and this session with the awareness, this is the good shit. This what's happening right now. Even the way Brian's addressing this mundane thing. So in a little while, on one of these sessions, I say, who would like my help? And Thomas speaks up first, and he says, yeah, I would like help with. And while he's talking, you're doing what you've always done, which is partly listening to wait and see if it's interesting or relevant to you. You will miss 99.9% of the magic that is here. In a way, I will say that I'm going to be teasing you and playing with you and messing with you and ruffling your feathers, inviting you to presence, like never before to presence, so that you practice presence in this group so much that you find yourself being present in your life. Is there anyone here who is too present most of the time? Anyone here? I'm just Brian. I just deal with being far too present to my kids and my partner and myself and my work. I am so present. It's like everything's going so perfectly. Okay, not one hand. Yay, you're in the right place. So if you admit that right now, I ain't too damn present. I could be more present. That is, I could choose presence more often. Does anybody here believe or know that you could be more present and that you could be present more of the time? And that if you were present more of the time, life would be going more of the way you want. I don't have anything else to raise. I do, but I'm not going to aim the camera there. Okay. So that's pretty much everybody, right? We could be more present. And if we were more present, well, we would benefit more. And being present to what is, I will offer to you that your suffering, whether you use that word or not, your suffering is your lack of presence. They're the same thing. And your suffering is, you could almost say, caused by your lack of presence. And everything that you think is bad, what if that's only everything you haven't fully become present to yet? Is that possible? Whoa, what? Wait, Brian, you're saying everything that I think is bad is actually only the things that I'm not present to yet? Are you really saying that? I might be. Hey, Melissa, welcome. Hey, Maria. I might be. Of course, I'm not going to say that I am right now because you guys aren't quite ready for that. At this point, you might still want to kick my ass. Later, I'll say it when you start to get it. Presence. And towards presence, couple of final details here. Don't take notes, please, ever on any session, ever, 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 ever. Don't take any notes. You don't want to. If you're taking notes, the idea of taking notes is the dumbest advice that we were ever given by some of the smartest people ever. Because if you're taking notes of what was just said, it is utterly, absolutely, totally impossible to be completely present to what is being said. Trust that you will get it if you're present infinitely more than you would have got it if you were taking notes, because, well, I know I'm not present, so I'm going to take these notes so later that when I'm not present, I won't look at them. You know what I'm talking about. Am I talking to you? I am. God damn, that was pretty good. I like that one. That was pretty good right there. I'm going to stop and pat my back for a minute. So if you don't take notes, well, then what? Then be absolutely present every second to every breath and every word that happens in these sessions, and watch it start to spill over into your life. And then I have great news. Great news. Who in this program has been in one or more of my previous similar programs? Everybody just take a look. Take a look. And if you want to, if you're in gallery mode, you can click the little arrow that takes you over to page 2, and you'll just see, okay, now who has been in 2 or more of my previous programs? Keep your hand up if you've been in 3 or more of my previous programs. If you've been in 4 or more of my previous programs. I could keep going, but then Andre would probably be the only one. So you'll find out about Andre, don't worry. So those of you that have been with me for a little while, been through some programs with me, who typically watches the replays more than once? If you typically watch the replays more than once, if you typically watch them more than 3 times, keep your hand up. Okay, thank you. What I recommend is, listen, if there was any shoulds, I should be charging $50,000 for this program. Now watch, there's gonna be a couple people that nod that have been in my programs. And we don't have, by the way, we're clearing up the housekeeping here. We don't have any guru worship in this group. There is no agreeing with Brian because everybody else does. It's literally the opposite of peer pressure. Hey, Sarah. Welcome, good to see you. It's the opposite of guru worship, and it's the opposite of peer pressure. the reason, so two hands that went up that said that they typically watch the replays more than 3 times. Who was that? Who was those two? Two that I saw. Okay, Piera, you're the newest one to my, there's probably someone on the second screen, but you're the newest to my work that said that. And are you okay unmuting for a second? Why do you typically, I mean, are you a glutton for punishment? You don't like yourself? Why is it that you typically watch the replays of the sessions more than 3 times? And what do you get out of it? Everybody, please listen and don't, this is not preliminaries. Do you understand? This is the good shit.
Because
you'll find out. Go ahead, Pierre.
there's just so much, even within a few minutes, that when I re-listen, it's like I hear a whole new, it's like I haven't heard it before, especially the second time. It's like, did I actually really go through that? And it starts to integrate more with every listen. And I learn to be more present with every listen as well. And then I absorb more. I don't even take notes on the second or third. I just listen and be present. And I feel like my being is taking notes, if you understand what I mean. And it's just more helpful. And I feel like it's like I download more, if that makes sense.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So I trust that you're beginning to hear me, even though you probably don't believe it yet. What's happening right now, if you're fully present, and it's Carmel, right? Is it Carmel or Carmel? Carmel?
Caramel.
Carmel. Well, damn, thank you. Okay, I might get it wrong again, but since I don't believe in right and wrong, I'm fine. Thank you. And Thomas and Holly, you know, you might not trust yet, and that's okay. I don't blame you at all. Okay, Brian, I hear you're making a big deal out of this presence thing, and I hear, you know, you're saying like, there's no, listen to me. You don't know what one thing I seem to be casually saying about housekeeping, that 3 years from now, you're going to be in a moment, 3 weeks from now, you're going to be in a moment and you're going to go, oh my God, that thing he said. I promise you. Anybody agree with me? Okay, and remember now, when you see these people agreeing, they are not trying to make me feel good. I've already deconditioned all the guru worship that could ever be in all the popularity contests and all the, oh, Brian will like me better if I agree. There is none of that shit in here. This wouldn't work. These people wouldn't be getting the results they're getting if there was any of that bullshit in here, okay? So every word that's being said, if you hear it with presence, just like when your kid walks in the room and you're looking at your phone, there's 1 word, 2 words, 3 words that she's going to say, or he's going to say, or they're going to say, that if you were present, it would transform your entire relationship with your kid. And if you have more than 1 kid, being absolutely, utterly, and totally present to each of them and all of them, you can do it. Your issue isn't your lack of ability to be present to them. Your issue is that you haven't been being present. So you think you're freaking out at them or your partner. Now, I know everybody here is all spiritual fucks. So we all have perfect, flawless relationships all the time, right? With everybody. It's always deeply intimate and connected, and everybody has perfect understanding every minute, right? If not, then is it possible that what I'm saying is why? Are you willing to consider that? Andrea.
Sure.
My love.
Yes,
Why
sir.
is it that you watch the sessions more than 3 times, and what do you get out of it? Whoops. Unmute, there you go. I must have unmuted while you unmuted and we muted you.
Okay. I feel that there's so many gold nuggets that I seem to extract at different times. So let's say the me that I am today is on here now. The me that watches the first replay is a different me. I've shifted and am not the same that I was today. So I view some of the information you provide maybe with a different slant, or I may be able to hear something that I didn't hear before. I usually take notes on the first replay. I keep going, and they're usually the things where I go, wow, I really want to remember that. I really want to absorb that. And then I keep going over the notes for the next few days. And sometimes I make recordings in my own voice, or I record a little snippet of what you were saying and put that on my phone and then listen to that throughout the day to just absorb it on a deeper level. I also take those snippets or the things that I've written down and turn them into quantum questions. And I have 3 dogs, and I walk them almost every morning in my beautiful park that I live right next to. Huge trees, lots of foliage, birds, wildlife. And I have about 30 minutes of quantum questions that I do every day. And I have my staple ones, and then I have other ones that I add as well. Then I keep listening to the replays as I see fit. Today I felt guided to rewatch one of the replays from our previous program, the drama machine, and damn, I had my own spell break right then and there. I was laying down, I felt getting very warm and hot around my upper body area and almost sweating like, and I could feel stuff releasing, and then I had a revelation out of that. And I thought, damn. And I said to myself, why is this the best thing that happened for me, that I'm in the level 5 group and the new level 5 group? And maybe that was one of the answers. I really received answers to one of my questions that I have been dealing with recently. Yeah, so I keep watching them randomly. I go back and forth between the different sessions, and the current session that's up for the week, I rewatch several times. Sometimes I put it on at night when I go to sleep and I let it run. But that's my way of extracting, sort of getting the juice out. And sometimes when I take notes weeks after about the same session, my notes are totally different. You see, so yeah. May I share something profound, sort of, that I experienced today?
No, we don't want to. No, there's not gonna be any profound shit unless it's me, because if you say something more profound,
well, it has to do with you.
well, but by all means, then go ahead.
It has to do with one of your tools. So I had, just to give a little bit of background, I had this thing that I perceived forever and ever up until very recently, that I could not, that I had a reaction of feeling anger when I would be around little kids, let's say like 5 to 8 years old or 4 to 7, that age group kids. And I would always feel anger. And just recently I had a sort of a confrontation with 2 kids in the park about something. And that prompted me to look at this closer. And I said, I really would like to feel this and feel this anger. And I have used the process that you taught us. I call it the...
This is the divine masculine calling.
This is a woman who's living it. This is a woman who's fucking living it. This is one of her reminders that you're gonna hear about. You go, Andrea. Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wow.
Check your power, presence, and then answer the power, presence, and posture, and then answer the call.
Wow.
So that's my one of my phones. So anyways, so it's the process that I retrieve all of my energy, and I go through the whole process with as much verve as I can. And I applied that process. Few days later, I still felt some anger towards some kids that were around the park, and I did the process again. I may have done that 2 or 3 times. Today, I was at the park walking around with my dogs, not thinking of anything. And there were 2 kids on their little mobiles riding around the trail. And I know, because I had my 2 dogs with me, I would have felt anger about that previously. And I didn't. I was totally neutral, completely neutral. And then I even extended love to them, and I said, wow, I love you. Look at them. Aren't they cute? You know, all they're trying to do is have some fun. And that is such a profound shift from my previous reaction. I burst out into tears right then and there. So that's my big, that was my big moment, or, you know, significant, whatever. It was a moment. It was a moment for me today. So totally in awe. And I thought, damn, this shit really does work. And there have been times where I've been questioning myself. The little one would say, well, did this really work? And I would go in and do what you do. Of course it would. Or you're feeling insecure about that? You know, come along. We're walking this way now. Of course it worked. Very profound experience for me right now. This was total proof that this stuff works as long as I apply it. So.
Thank you, Andrea.
Much love to everybody.
Beautiful. Now, a lot of what she just said made sense to a lot of you. And some of you are wondering what the fuck she's smoking. Right now, you might be wondering what I'm smoking, but that's a different story. I promise you, if you pay attention and stick around, you will find yourself having experiences in the next days and weeks and months exactly like what she just described. And some of it will be about what she just said that right now makes no sense to you whatsoever. Like, okay, she's on the good shit. She is, but it ain't the good shit you might expect. Okay, so presence on the session, and then choosing, what if this isn't another self-help program? Have you done enough of those? Have you done enough like self-help stuff? Have you done enough self-help stuff that didn't really deliver what it said it was going to? Is it possible that this one is actually that different? Is it possible? Might it be more than you are even hoping it will be? Well, you won't find out by hoping. You'll find out by being present to what it is. I'm selling presence hard here, y'all. And it don't cost anything. Just all of your attention. And then it yields infinitely more than you ever thought possible. And this leads to the next piece, which is the breath. So in the Facebook group for this program, there is an announcement post, which is where you found the link probably for this. In that announcement post, there's a lot of stuff. In all seriousness, there's 10 times more value in that post, not counting the sessions. That is what, you paid for the program and the sessions. But in that post, there's about 10 times more value than you could have possibly hoped for or expected to get out of this program. If you will get out your shovel and dig in that post, watch those videos, soak them up. And nothing there is more important than the breathing videos. Now, those are the 2 same breath videos that come with my book. And because of that, it's not ideal for me to spend the necessary optimum 45 minutes right now. Excuse me for a second. Is there a password? There is a password. Did any of you have to use the password to get into this? Nobody had to. All right, Harold is asking in the face. Okay, nobody else needed the password, and I am not sure what to do about that. Send him the link. Okay, thanks, Dev. Say what, Erica?
Sorry, it asked me for a password, and I tried it a few more times, and I got through.
Okay. Thank you. So yeah, if you'll tell him that, Dev, I appreciate it. And I've got a corner of my fully present left eye on the admit. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Philomen had the same question. I did give them the links already. And for some reason, I think there's an update needed for Zoom right now. So I'm not sure if that's interacting with them, but what browser should I recommend? I saw
I would say a different one, although like if the one that they're using, they may have a caching issue, which is why they might be better off just switching browsers, but Chrome is most likely the one that's going to work.
Okay.
Hey, Melissa. Hey, Terry. You got something to say, Terry? Go ahead. Unmute, please.
Hello, everyone. I had trouble getting in. How I got in the end was opening up the post and clicking on the link there as opposed to the image of Zoom. Where when I clicked on the image and the Zoom page opened up, I couldn't get into the meeting. So maybe there's the discrepancy.
That may be it. Thank you. All right. So Dev, if you can message that. And hey, Melissa, had a couple people have showed up on here. There's Melissa, there's Diane. Hello. And I see there is a Kim that's invisible, completely invisible. That's just trippy. I don't understand that, but I'm sure Kim is there off camera. All right. Okay. So everybody that, you know, as I've said for 14 times, but a few of you got in late, didn't hear. Don't worry about it. That's only going to happen on the orientation session. Every orientation session, whole bunch of new people, whole bunch of new things and updates and everything else. It's just how it is. And you will get as much or more out of the replay of this. Don't worry, you didn't miss nothing. But the good shit. Because it's all the good shit. And you will be able to get it on the replay multiple times. All right. So presence, 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 presence. Whenever something like that happens and I completely lose my train of thought, I want to model something for you. I couldn't care less. Because the truth never leaves. And by staying present, the threads always come back together every single time. There's never a worry or a concern about that. All right, so these breathing videos, I'm not going to take the 45 minutes to do the necessary, beneficial, optimal teaching on it in these sessions. I'm not. There will be times that I talk about it. What I want you to hear right now is I don't teach a breathing technique. I have discovered how a sane, functioning, fully alive human being breathes. Almost nobody's doing it. Almost never. Brian, what in the world are you talking about? I breathe all the time or I wouldn't be alive, right? No. You don't have any idea how unalive you have been. So I would like to take a real liberty here for a moment with this concept. My point with this is that I cannot encourage you highly enough to watch those breathing videos. Set a reminder in your phone to come back and watch them again and to watch them fully present and master that breathing until it becomes second nature while you're on the way to discovering that it's your first nature that you left behind much long ago. Okay? Who in this program that's been with me for a little while has put some fair amount of energy and effort finally into actually learning and practicing that breathing? Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Anybody? I'm going to go first of all with Peter. Peter. Harold just made it in, Dev. Thank you. Unmute, Peter.
Hello.
Hey, everybody. So Peter's over in Belgium. Everybody give him a howdy. That's what they say in Belgium, by the way, is howdy. Howdy.
Howdy.
That's how they do it. All right. So, Peter, how long you been with the level 5 stuff, man?
I think it's 2017, the first live I saw on Facebook.
All right. And Peter's partner, Elka, who is sitting beside him most of the time, there she is, had a really radical physical health miraculous experience on a free live stream that I did. And they have been harassing me ever since. Haven't had a damn day without these people in my life. Okay, I'm so grateful for it. And they're dedicated and devoted and committed to living this level 5 way at as much as anybody else. And sometimes they're stubborn fucks like me, right? And sometimes, okay. And so, Peter, you raise your hand as someone who has actually finally really put some time and effort and energy into the breathing. I'm going to ask why and what have been the benefits?
Why? Because I wanted to change something. I wanted to make my life more awesome. And our experience with the first live that was so amazing, what changed for us, made me want to commit to the breathing, especially, and master it, and yeah, that's the why. What was the second?
And what have the benefits been, and what is different the more you practice it?
I feel more at peace in situations where I would have been in the past anxious or angry. Angry is maybe one my up until now ongoing issue that I'm working on to stay present, but my anxiety has definitely dropped tremendously. Using just the breath and becoming present because of that.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Welcome.
I could ask many others. I'm just gonna hammer this for a couple minutes. I'm not gonna teach the breathing. I'm gonna do what I can to sell you on presence and on the breathing, which is the doorway. Now, would anybody here like at all? Those of you that just joined within the last 5 minutes that missed like all that other stuff, you're totally screwed. You know, it's just lost and you'll never get it back. No, I'm kidding. Every session is recorded. I cannot recommend highly enough that you watch every replay multiple times. You're going to see a whole bunch of magical stuff, and just be present to where we are now. And don't even worry about it. Don't think, oh, they got started without me. Oh, I'm behind. No, you're not. Everything's absolutely perfect. There's no accidents. There's nothing wrong. Okay? Everything's perfect. Harold, I'm glad you made it in, brother. Good to see you. Wayne, good to see you, man. Or your picture, which is almost as good as you. All right. So I'm really selling the presence, and now I'm really selling the breath. So I want to do my best to convince you to be convincible about this. Is there anyone in this program that would really, really, really love, I mean, it's very important to you to get much less than you could? Anybody? Like, fuck, don't change my life, Brian. I thought this was another one of them self-help things where I get fascinated for a while and then feel worse afterwards because I'm so fucked up I couldn't even get that one right, right? Right? We've done enough of that. Hi, Cheryl. So, is there anybody here that would be willing to actually have this program and this experience be the one where you actually stepped into living as the infinite, unlimited being you really are. Anybody, like, would you I mean, no bullshit now, no bullshit, all bullshit, but is it possible that this could be the program? Is it possible? And is it possible that you've had enough and that you're ready? And is it possible that you, in some way beyond your awareness, actually brought the global pandemic situation into being to finally be the wake-up call that you wouldn't be able to avoid? Is that possible? And did you notice the synchronicitous juxtaposition of the fact that this program showed up on your radar while this was going on? Did you notice that? Because that's presence would notice that. So, the breath method, the way of breathing that I practice and model and teach, first of all, I'll start by saying you won't be able to do while you're squishing your chest, Sarah. So relax your arms and your shoulders and relax your posture so that your diaphragm can freely move up and down. I'm going to give you something almost like a mantra here. A straight spine and deep, consistent breathing will get you through anything. You kind of hear me? A straight spine that allows your diaphragm to move, and deep, consistent breathing will get you through anything. And those of you who have kids and you want the kids to be on the session, let me tell you, they could not be more welcome. And I'm going to cuss like a sailor. So if you believe that there are bad words and you want to implant the curse in your children of believing that there are bad words, get a refund quickly or use a headset. Actually, if you really want to continue the curse in your children of teaching them that words can be good or bad, you really would be better off in another program. Anybody trust that I'm saying that from love? I really am. Okay, so this breath. Consider this with me for a moment. If you will, first of all, begin by accepting the possibility that the breath could be more important than you've ever dreamed. Is there anyone here that is unwilling? Be honest. This is where we don't do the guru worship and we don't do the peer pressure. No one else is raising their hand. Does anyone here consider that I'm probably or might be making a bigger deal about the breath than is necessary? Anybody? Why is he harping on the breath? I thought he was going to transform our lives. Can't we just get to the transformational goodies? There's got to be something more fascinating than this boring breath shit. Nobody? Nobody? Really? Okay. Speak now or forever hold your peace. You think so? Maybe a little bit, Annie? Maybe I'm harping a little bit. A little bit. Okay, good. Thank you. Honesty. The great news is, Annie, that if you stay present, you'll find out otherwise. I promise. I promise. Just stay curious and stay honest. What you just did, high fives all across for that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of a why now. Have you ever felt anxiety, Annie? Yeah? You ain't breathing enough. There's my first thing. Well, Brian, it has to be more than that. We'll find out. I'll just say this. This ain't my first rodeo. And I will also say this. So far, this is the one cocky thing that you're going to hear me say every once in a while. I'm not better than anybody else. I'm not better than any self-help teacher. I'm not better than any guru. If we're all the infinite, unlimited one, how can anyone be better or worse? It doesn't even make any sense. I will say this, though. in all my life, 40 years now of being involved with personal development, 9 years of working with over 100,000 people, I've never seen anybody get the results for their clients that I get. Those of you that have been with me for a while, everybody watch now, everybody be totally present. Those of you that have been with me for a while, have you ever seen anybody or any system that gets results like this work does? Have you? Watch, look close, everybody, look close. The ones that have been with me for a while. See their heads moving? They're not doing this. They're doing whatever. Okay? The breath is a huge part of it. And now I'm going to give you a little bit of the why. Has anyone noticed that they're seemingly in a body? You check around. Oh, yep, there I am. Okay, I am in a body. You're not the body, but you're in that body. And if you doubt, if you think you're so fucking spiritual, you're not, I want to see you leave it right now. If nobody leaves their body, then you got to listen to what I'm saying. Nobody's leaving. You're still in your body. Okay. Think about Maslow's hierarchy for a moment. You know, all those things that we need in order to survive. What is the one thing you would die first if it was taken from you? What is the one thing that you would die first? Is it food? Is it food? No, no, no. Is it your favorite purple buzzing sex toy? No, 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 no. Is it your water? Is it water? Because, man, water is, hola, water is life. Water is life. Water is life. Really? Hold your breath for 5 minutes, fucker. You can sip as much water as you want. You can have water intravenously put in. You're dead in 5 minutes if you stop breathing. Now, wait a minute, Brian. So you're saying that breath is actually the single most fundamental need of a being who is living in a human body? Are you saying otherwise? Have you ever thought about this? And have you ever really thought about it? No, Brian, come on, you got to get to the good shit, or I'm in the wrong program. You're just harping on this breath forever. Listen to me. If you want to wake up to the fact that you are infinitely awake, if you want to step into the life of your dreams, you got to start by being alive. Let me be fascinating for a minute. Multiple university studies have revealed, shockingly, global university studies have revealed that nearly everyone, 99% of all people tested, are breathing at less than 12% of their available capacity. My gosh, that's a fascinating fact, isn't it? University studies globally around the world, 99% of people tested breathe less than 12% of their capacity. When you isn't breathing enough, do you think your systems work? Do you think any of your systems work? Who here has ever had a digestive issue? Any kind of digestive issue? Anybody? Any digestive issues? Let me ask you something. What do you need in order to have a fire? You need a material, you need a spark, and you need, what was it? Air. More air, more fire. Digestion is a process of burning food. You need enough air to fuel the fire of your digestion, and that's just one thing. But how about your brain? I'll bet your brain doesn't need any air to operate, right? So if your brain is getting 10, 8, 7% of the air that it needs, that couldn't have any effect on anything, could it? Is there any possibility that the chronic fight or flight, cleverly diagnosed as anxiety, you can write pills, you can write prescriptions, sell pills for that shit, and have anxiety, chronic anxiety, panic attacks. That sounds fucking scary to me. I don't know about you, but panic attacks, what the fuck is that? Did it attack me? I don't know. It looked like it to me. What if a panic attack is what your nervous system does when it's in fight or flight from inadequate oxygenation? Is it possible? I think you're making far too big a deal about this breath thing, bro. If you do, don't breathe for 5 minutes. Now, I have a profound question for you. I'm sure it's profound because I'm the one saying it. And I'm very convinced that I'm profound much of the time. What is there in the world that is still available for free? Physical? Physical. In the physical universe, what is available for free? Water? Is it water? Not most places. Food, certainly you get all the best organic, non-GMO food. It's all free. They just give it away. You go to the farmer's market and say, I like the way you breathe. Here is some free food. No? How about clothing? How about purple buzzing sex toys? Are those free? No, there's one thing free. Have you noticed that? There's one thing free. I'm going to tease you now a little bit. Straight spine, with your head up, with your mind and your attention fully present. If the session's worth being on, it's worth being fully present to. Well, I know he's going to get to the good shit eventually, so I'll just say. If you begin to breathe in the way that I show you to breathe, where you begin to bring the heart and the brain into coherence, and you begin to illuminate all the chakras for all you spiritual folks out there. You begin to illuminate all the chakras at one time. Not just moving from your head to your heart, which sounds very spiritual, but you're not just a head and heart either, sweetheart. You're the whole thing. Light the whole system up. If you begin to breathe enough, that you begin to balance the hemispheres of the brain, and the corpus callosum begins to conduct nerve growth and blood flow again. And you breathe enough that you illuminate your entire lizard brain, and then it spills over into your mammalian brain, and then you breathe enough that it begins to activate and turn on your entire brain. You become alive, and you go, oh, holy shit, I haven't been alive for a long, 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 long time. I did not know that I was sleepwalking. Is there any possibility that this might be more important than you thought? I'm using Annie's gesture. Like a little bit, maybe. Okay. Gotcha, Thomas. Love you, buddy. You will get more out of every sacred septillionth of a second. Being more present, with the only change being that you begin to breathe adequately and in a cyclical way that brings everything back into balance. We will talk more about this later. And some of you said, oh, well, this program is not for me. I wanted to be fascinated with fascinating things. I'm just trying to be all practical. You know what's funny? You'll get infinitely more of the unbelievably fascinating things that are going to happen in this group when you're present, and you can't do it if you're not breathing enough. Love you, April. I'm going to move into the next phase of this conversation by saying this. If everybody on the planet suddenly started to breathe at 30% of their capacity, everybody at once, like this. You know, smooth, cyclical, sine wave pattern. Inhale. Top of the inhale, no pause. Straight into the exhale, out the mouth. The bottom of the exhale, instantly inhaling in through the nose. Same duration. The entire planet would change beyond our wildest dreams in a millisecond. Now, I got no way today to get everybody on the planet breathing like this. But if I can convince you to try it, and this leads to why is it that nobody's breathing? And we're going to get into now some a little more fascinating, maybe a little crazy shit. So I would encourage, I'm all about experience. So I would encourage everybody to close your eyes. You don't have to. I encourage everybody to close your eyes, and we're going to go into an experience that's going to illuminate some things. And don't be surprised if your mind is completely blown by what we're about to do. And if your mind isn't completely blown, breathe deeper. All right, y'all willing? Okay, there's some things that can only be learned and discovered and unlearned by experience. So what I want to have you do is just consider the possibility as you close your eyes. Consider the possibility right now I might be about to come face to face with an awareness that could change everything. So contemplate with your eyes closed, breathing relaxed, heads up, spine is straight, nice breathing. Consider, where did I get everything that I think I know about everything? Where did I get it? Where did I get everything that I think and believe that I know about everything? So what are we? Where are we? Who am I? Where am I? Why am I? You know, like they said, I'm here for the lessons. I'm here so that I can finally get holy enough that I can be with God. I'm here to pay for my fucking sins and my karma. I'm here for, but for once, while I'm actually breathing and contemplating this, why did I join this program? What was it about that long-haired weirdo in Hawaii? What was it? Why did I want to be? What did I hope? What was it that I felt? Something there. Am I willing to unlearn what I have learned so that I can be free? Am I willing to consider being free? Is it okay for me to be free? Is there any possibility that the shit that I think is why I'm suffering? Is there any possibility that everything I know is why I'm suffering? Could there be a link between what I know and my suffering? And if you get a yes, just give a little tiny nod. There is the possibility. If you get a, okay. Got a couple big nods and I got a whole bunch of little nods. Okay, so stay curious and breathing, eyes closed. We're becoming more present than ever before. We're relaxing. We're going to find out a couple things. When I question where I got all of those ideas, including karma, everything that I've been so sure about, everything that became the fundamental presumptions upon which I have built my identity and my life and my worldviews. I ain't just talking about beliefs, y'all. There's about 422,000 belief experts in the world. I've done enough belief. I'm talking about what am I? What is? What's possible? So we're going to go to the roots of the roots of the roots of the roots in a way probably unlike anything you've ever experienced. And it's okay. You can just ask the question right now. Am I safe? Is it okay for me to do this? Am I safe? And you'll feel the answer. When you get quiet and you breathe and you relax, you will notice something beyond all those ideas that you thought and believed that you knew. Just ask the question, am I here? I don't know what I am, and I don't know what here means, but am I here? And you're going to find out you are. And all you got to do is squeeze your butt cheeks and you'll feel, oh, here I am, or touch your toe, or breathe, or hear my voice, and you'll know I am here. You notice that? You notice, Ryan? Brianna, you notice you're here, right? So it's undeniable. Now, let's just relax a little bit more and breathe a little deeper and a little more smoothly for a moment. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Don't worry. You can get back to your panic and your misery anytime you want. No one's going to take it from you. We're just relaxing for just a minute. That's all. It's all our pain will still be there if we want to pick it back up after this. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth a little bit, relaxing, curious. Right this moment, I don't know all that shit I knew, but what I can tell for sure is one thing. I'm here. And now, in order to be absolutely certain of it, what I want you to do is get ready. Because I'm going to count from 4 to 0. Now, not from 4 to 1. We don't want to get this wrong. It might be important. I'm just kidding. I'm going to breathe from 4 to 0. And on 0, what I want you to do, because you're here right now existing. You exist. You are here existing, and you can't deny it anymore, can you? You feel it. So what I want to encourage you to do, Holly and Lisa, Kim, I want you to get ready now. When I count from 4 to 0, on 0, I want you to stop existing. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, go. Stop existing. Stop existing. Oh my God, you people are not listening to me. Stop existing. Would you fucking stop? Try harder. Try harder. I want you to put your effort into it. And if you think I'm being silly, if you think, no, this is stupid, listen to me. If you don't try, you won't know. Give it all you've got. Find the part of you that can stop existing. Do it. Go, go, go. Ah, fuck. Okay, so if you notice now, keep breathing, eyes closed, tuning in and relaxing. We're going to go even deeper. What I want to encourage you, some of you will allow yourself right now to actually go here with me, and you will have a profound experience that you will never lose. And others of you will say, I think maybe I'll try a little harder on the replay. Notice that right this moment, you know that you exist. I mean, it's just undeniable. Someone might try to debate it with you. Well, at the quantum level, fuck all that. I'm here, okay? I can feel it. If somebody was to slap me in the face, I would go, ah! If somebody jumped up behind me and scared me, ah! If someone was to begin to scratch my back, I might go, you know, like I'm here, right? And when you tried to stop existing, did you notice that you couldn't? Anybody playing along with me here? Okay, so here's 2 things that you now know. Unlike anything you were ever sure you knew and that you thought and bought and believed from those idiots who told you all that shit that they had bought. No offense to the idiots. We're all idiots until we're not. I don't mean any meanness here. Eyes closed, breathing deep, relaxing, straight spine. Here's what I know right now. I am existing. I'm here existing. And I don't seem able to stop existing. And those of you who actually honored my silliness enough that you found out I wasn't silly, and you actually tried to stop existing, you now know more than ever. You can't stop this ride, baby. Like, you know, you get on the Ferris wheel and you tell the guy as you're going, no, make it stop. I want to get off. Sometimes they will. But you can't stop this ride, baby. And that's not bad news. If you're breathing deep enough to enjoy it. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. So now you're here and you're having experience. Number 1, you're here having experience. And number 2, the experience is ongoing, right? It's ongoing. You with me? It's ongoing. The experience is ongoing. So number 1, I'm here having experience. Number 2, experience is ongoing. Do you know that it's because of karma? Do you know that it's so that you can have an endless string of lessons given to you from above? Do you know that what's meant to be, well, it's just meant to be? No, that's all fucking bullshit that you picked up along the way that you bought and have never questioned ever since. But the 2 things you know right now, if you're playing along with me at all, is that you are having experience and you don't know how to make it stop. Might not be able to make it stop. So keep breathing. And I want you to notice this. Did you ever notice that there's some things you would like to experience more of and some things you would like to experience less of? Oh my goodness, some of you are actually playing along with me here. So watch this now. I'm here, I'm having experience, and experience is ongoing. Those three are completely clear. And now what's becoming clear is, and not only am I here and having experience and experience is ongoing, but I got to admit here that some of it I prefer and some of it I don't. Can you come up with one thing you would like to experience more of that's been going on in your life? Can you come up with one thing? Anybody? The more you play along, the more you're going to get out of this while you're breathing. Can anybody come up with anything that's been happening in their life that they would like to experience less of? I'm watching for heads nodding here. Okay, this is good. This is good. This is good. If there was a good, this would be good. So now, Brian, I wish you would just move a lot faster. Well, we're undoing some things here. So just don't be patient. Be present. I want you to go along with me one time with your eyes closed, spine straight, breathing deep, cyclical breathing. I want you to just look at it with me. I am here. I am having experience. The experience is ongoing. And there's some stuff that I would prefer more of and some that I would not prefer more of, or I could say I could prefer less of. Can you admit the possibility? Will you admit the possibility that it might actually be that simple? I mean, I know you had all kind of ideas about good and bad and right and wrong and should and shouldn't and better and worse and positive and negative. I know you had all that shit. I did too. But you know, all those things that when you started to think, well, why? Why is that experience? And why won't this change? And why is that? And you had all those good and bads and right and wrongs, didn't you? Can you see them a little bit more clearly now? Or do you even a feeling of, wait, like I thought that I never thought just preferred and not preferred. I thought some of it was good and some was bad and some was should and some was shouldn't. And some was God's will and some was my selfishness. But do you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is a God's will or not? Do you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that there's a should and a shouldn't in any of it? Do you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that there is a right or a wrong or a good or a bad or even a better and a worse, or even for us spiritual fucks, a positive and a negative? Do you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that any of that exists? I'm looking, you don't have to answer, you don't have to interact and respond, but if you do, number one, I'll feel happier, and number two, you'll get more out of this. So I'm watching for the head nods and the head shakes and everything. Do you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that any of that shit exists anywhere other than in your mind? But what you do know right now is I'm here and I'm having experience, and that experience is ongoing, and some I prefer and some I don't. So why did I overcomplicate I would prefer this and I would not prefer that? Why did I overcomplicate that with God's will and right and wrong and good and bad and evil and should and shouldn't and selfish and selfless? Well, wait a minute. Where did I get all of those ideas on every single topic? Other fucking people. Anybody disagree yet? Anybody having anything beginning to approach like possibly profound, like, oh, wait, this might actually, wait, this is, oh, wait, fuck. Some of you don't want to admit it, and some of you do, and some of you might not be yet. That's fine. So breathe a little deeper into your present moment experience. I am. I am experiencing. I am still experiencing. And I am noticing some things I prefer to experience and some things I don't prefer to experience. And what if it was that simple? And what if I breathed enough that I could stay present to this cosmic, universal, utter simplicity? I am having experience. I am still having experience. And I am still having experience. And it's ongoing. And there's some of it that I prefer. And some of it that I don't. What if me preferring it or not was enough? What if I didn't need to make it right or better in order for it to be okay for me to prefer it? What if I didn't need to say, hey, Mom, is it okay for me to prefer this? I mean, here, let me show you how it's better in all these ways. It's right. It's right for me to want this. It's better for me to want this. It's good for you. You'll get more out of it. Let me show you how this is helpful for you if I prefer this. What if I didn't need any of that bullshit? What if it's okay for me to prefer what I prefer? If I don't have a giant universal concept of karma overlaying my experience, then it's just what it is. And if I don't have a political overlay over my experience, then it's just what it is. This is what I prefer. I prefer my vibrating sex toys in purple. And I don't need to justify it to anyone else. I prefer vanilla over chocolate when it comes to my ice cream. And I don't need to make chocolate bad. I don't need to make vanilla right or good or better. I don't need to tell you that chocolate is wrong and it should be outlawed. I'm joining the group, the Anti-Chocolate League. I just fucking enjoy my vanilla. I don't need to justify or explain a damn thing to anybody about anything ever. It doesn't mean that I can't. I'm not in opposition to it, but I don't have to. So, well, let me talk. Before I have this vanilla, I'm just going to make sure everybody knows why I'm having vanilla and why I prefer vanilla, and make sure everyone's okay with me choosing vanilla. I'm here. I'm having experience. It's ongoing. And in this ongoing experience, I notice there's things I prefer and things I don't. And I've chosen to begin to go for what I prefer. And I suddenly become acquainted and aware and familiar from presence for the first time in my existence that I wasn't going for what I prefer. Simply and clearly, I was, who knows how many overlays I had. Karma, political correctness, standing up for the victims, the idea of victim perpetrator. Now, wait a minute. Check this out. Here I am having experience, right, Lisa? I'm here. I'm having experience. I mean, can't deny that one. Nobody's argued with me yet. I'm here, Gerald. I'm having experience. And it's ongoing. And there's things I prefer and things I don't. Is there necessarily a victim perpetrator reality involved in any of that? Does me preferring what I prefer, does that make me a perpetrator of evil against some victim? Or is that just an overlay that got somewhere, somehow along the way planted in my mental existence? What would life be like if I didn't have to question what I prefer or justify it or explain it to anyone, including my crazy fucking self? Well, I'm only having vanilla because listen, I am having vanilla, but trust me, next time I'll have chocolate so you can feel good. What if I let go of all the ideas that I was violating anyone else? Well, Brian, I don't know. I think then I would probably just become a total asshole and I would just totally, really? Really? Are you sure? Or did someone plant that idea in your mind along the way? Can you have vanilla and let them have chocolate? Well, Brian, there are some things that are obviously a lot more weighty and heavy than just whether we choose. Are you sure of that? Are you sure? Is there an area of your life where you can prefer what you prefer and have it necessarily cost someone else? Are you sure? Does preferring what you prefer make you a selfish little bitch? Are you sure? Is it possible that one day when you were 4 or 5 years old, you innocently said, Mommy, Daddy, could I have a? And they felt worried about money. And they were a little tired and they were a little stressed. And they yelled at you, what do you think, we're made of money around here? And you went, oh, fuck, don't want anything. And if you do, for God's sake, don't ask for it. Is it possible that you took one or more of those episodes and crafted an entire psychological constellation of thoughts, ideas, beliefs, rules, and behaviors to protect yourself from that ever happening again? Well, damn. So here I am. I am here. I am existing. I am having experience. That experience is ongoing. And there are things that I prefer. Is it possible that I can begin to prefer what I prefer? Is that possible? If it is, give yourself a verbal out loud yes. Is it possible for me to begin to prefer what I prefer? If you give yourself a verbal out loud yes, your cells will hear it and they will agree with you. Is it possible that your preferences, is it possible that my preferences are perfectly okay and fine and safe? If you give yourself an out loud, if it's a no, say fucking no. But if it's a yes, don't just sit there. If you give yourself an out loud yes, you will feel it and your cells will hear you and agree with you and understand that you're actually serious this time. Is it possible that it's perfectly okay for you to prefer what you prefer? Is it possible that you can prefer what you prefer and everybody else can still be okay? Oh, a couple people had a little difficulty with that one. Not too sure. Not 100% sure about that one. Is it possible that all along I was just existing, having ongoing experience that led me to have preferences? And they taught me that having preferences was selfish and bad and evil. Is it possible that I have projected constellations of belief structures all the way up to the scale of seemingly multi-thousand-year-old religious systems that would create guilt and shame as my reflection of it's not okay for me to want what I want? Oh. Anybody want to undo that shit? Anybody want to undo that shit with love, with grace, with space for everybody else? Welcome, Julio. That's almost everybody, and I'm guessing the ones who didn't say yes, just not quite sure it's okay. So I want you to really gently and slowly open your eyes. Gentle and slow, and see if things look different. I might not look quite as weird as I did a few minutes ago, or maybe weirder. I don't know. It's in the eye of the beholder. I'm fine either way. How about that shit, Ryan? How about that, Erica? Wow. And when you're hugging your kid there, honey, yeah, you're like, okay, I'm going to stop doing that to you. I'm going to stop doing that to me. Right, Rihanna? Don't need that anymore. I'm just here. I don't know what the hell I am. I don't know what I'm not. Man, did I pick up a lot of ideas about what I am, starting with selfish little fuck. But what if when they taught me, breathe, what if they taught me, when they said to me, you selfish little fuck, whether they said it explicitly or not, you selfish little bitch, you selfish little bastard. What if what they were actually saying and they didn't know it? What if they were saying, you're interfering with my commitment to my selfishness? Stop wanting things because it's interfering with the things I want. What if I learned along the way that I knew what I was? I mean, listen, do you have any idea of how many things you think you are, but you don't know any of them? All the things you think you are, because when you were little, one of the first things your parents did was they told you what you were. Good boy. Oh, bad boy. Wait, so when I do this, I'm a good boy. When I do this, I'm a bad boy. But now I'm doing the shit that you said 3 years ago was a good boy, but I'm doing it, you're saying I'm a bad boy. It's always a moving target. But I found out that when they said good boy, I usually got the cookie. And when they said bad boy, sometimes I got hit or scolded or yelled at or ignored. So we have spent the rest of our lives desperately trying to be the good boy, not knowing we're doing it whatsoever. Samantha just pointed out, and I will reiterate, there is a session from an earlier program called the Me session. It goes into this, man, some magical shit happened on that session. So I included that as a bonus in this program. Anybody who watches that session with presence, I welcome you sending me a letter saying, Brian, you don't charge enough for your programs. I got more out of the Me session than I thought I could get out of the whole damn program. And it was a bonus session, okay? This thing that we call me, did you notice that there wasn't a me when you were sitting there realizing I'm here having experience? I am here, I'm having experience, and it's ongoing, and there's some shit that I prefer. There was no me sitting there. Me with all the things I know about me, all the rules and values and identities and laws and good and bad and all the stuff that I'm supposed to do. And it's always a moving fucking target. Because what's good here makes me bad there. I can never win. That me is just fucked, man. And then fortunately, I am. I settle into this I am. Infinite possibilities again. So they taught me, and I bought it. I bought it. And what did I buy it with? You ever, everybody here is obviously not in the US. There is an idiom, a phrase in English, American idiom, that basically says, I'll buy that, right? So someone says, hey, it's 80 degrees outside. You feel it's kind of warm. You say, I'll buy that. You know what I mean? But when we were kids, we bought it. And we don't really know that we were buying it. We didn't know. We don't know that we bought it. And we don't know what we bought it with. And it's really important to know what we bought it with. Because we are the infinite source creator. We've all heard that shit, right? I mean, almost every personal development program we've ever been told us that. Of course, it then proved otherwise, generally. But if I am source creator and that which the creator creates, so I'm a little bit of a biblical scholar and student, and I'm not even remotely Christian. So don't anybody freak out on me if I quote any of the books, okay? Truth is truth no matter where you find it. And apparently there is in a couple places in the Bible, it says it in different ways, but I think it's John 1:1 that says, in the beginning was the Word. Right on, Terry. Love you, man. See ya. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Now, that's kind of interesting language. And if you go back to the Greek, you will discover that there was no past tense in the Greek. So what the thing actually says is, in the beginning, at the eternal state, beyond time, at that eternal state is the Word, the vibration, the sound, the logos, and the vibration is God, and it's with God. Well, let me be the one to tell you, you ain't changed. You're the vibration in eternity that brings this illusion of time and space into being now. You didn't create it. No. You're creating it right now with the illusion of a past of thousands or millions or billions of fucking years. You're bringing it into being. And you're God, the creator, creating, and you're with God, the creation arising from the creator. You're both. You might want to keep breathing though, because right now you're convinced you're in a body. And if you're in a body, you better live by the rules of the body. With the body says, you don't give me enough breath, I will die. And if you don't give me enough breath, but I don't quite die, I'll just be fucking miserable and you'll be crazy. What if crazy is a symptom of inadequate breath? In most cases. In the beginning, which is now, the creator creates now. And what if you've been creating based on the twisted mirrors of all the shit you bought? I mean, listen, I'm sorry, but that would only explain every fucking thing. It's like, that don't leave no stone unturned. If you get that one and you let it in and then you decide, oh, that was a fascinating session. I'm going to go back to my life and stop breathing. What if Maria and Brenda, what if you actually really did find it this time? What if you were ready to actually get it? If you're really ready to get it, I won't say that much that's new. I'll only just say everything that's new, that's always been true, And I'm only here reminding you of what you already knew, that you did a really amazing job of disguising, burying, diluting, occluding. And we can clear all that shit out. And you can, anytime you want, you can say, well, I am here. And I am having experience, still going. And it's ongoing. Not quite sure how to stop it, so I'm just going to stop trying to stop it. And wait, oh wait, there's still shit I prefer and shit that I don't. And I don't know about you. Actually, I do, but I don't want to say that, so I'm not going to. I don't know about you. But maybe it would be time to say, well, why ain't I just going for what I prefer? I mean, wait a fucking minute here. I'm here. I'm having experience. It's ongoing. There's shit I prefer and shit I don't. Why don't I just fix my vision on I would prefer more than that and just go? Why don't I do that? Come on, Brian. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. Whatever you do, don't go there. Couldn't we just stay here and be fascinated a little bit longer? We could end the session. This has been great. I'm going to go further if that's okay with you or not. I made a discovery a little while back. I started doing this spell breaking thing. And I started helping people with issue after issue after issue after issue after. I could go on. Issue after issue after issue. See, I told you I could go on. And I discovered some things. One of the things is like, so there's a thing in success literature, and somebody decided to codify and say, it's just, don't pay attention to the number, but basically, if you spend 10,000 hours on something, you're an expert, okay? It's not really true, but there's some validity to that idea. The idea is that if you do something enough times, you kind of start to notice some shit. It's kind of true, but there's a saying that says, practice makes perfect. Well, that is the dumbest shit I ever heard, because only perfect practice makes perfect. If we're going to use that phrase at all, you can practice in some very dumb, ineffective ways that you'll just get less and less good at whatever it was. I play multiple musical instruments, and I can tell you that if you practice in ways that aren't supportive, you will prevent yourself from being able to pull off some of the physical things that later you will discover are possible. You'll want to do them. You can't, because you're literally doing it in a way that prevents you from getting there. So I'm going to say that whole expert thing, everybody still breathing? You're still, even when I go into these seemingly far mental deep things, we're still just here having experience. I'm just going off to the farthest star for a minute to make a few connections, stay present, and watch what happens. If you spend 10,000 hours doing something while breathing and present and curious with the intention of excellence, you have an entirely different outcome than 10,000 hours jerking off with half your mind while trying to figure something out with the other half, while the other half, the third half, is caught up in why you shouldn't be doing because of your karmic responsibility and how selfish you are. And okay, to do something with presence for 10,000 hours, with a focus on excellence and a desire to come from love and being curious, what awesomeness can arise from this is different. And so I've done my 10,000 hours of spell breaking with every age and every sex and every culture on every issue imaginable, from unconditional love, with the intention to make life more wonderful for myself and the person in front of me. If I didn't see some things that nobody else has seen, then what the fuck was I doing? You know what I'm saying? So a very mundane example that I like to use is oil changes. And for people changing oil under cars and trucks, you go under because gravity goes down. We're all convinced of that. So it behaves and obeys us. You go under the truck and you open this thing and you drain the oil out. And while you're under the vehicle, you see the undercarriage of the car or the truck. And you see where the bolt is that the oil drains out. You see the oil pan, and you see all these other things, and there's the tires, and there's all this. You see this shit. Now, if you did 10,000 oil changes, with presence and a desire to be loving and a commitment to excellence, and you were curious every oil change, you never thought, oh, fucking another fucking oil change. No, you go in with presence every single time. Do you accept the possibility that you might make discoveries and have insights about cars and vehicles and oil changes and the underside, and that you could come up with a multi-billion-dollar idea that could change the vehicle industry, couldn't you? Isn't that possible? But you're just doing stupid fucking oil changes. Man, who knows what could come of that? If you did 10,000 brain surgeries, you better know some shit that the person who ain't done any brain surgeries don't know. You spend 10,000 times doing anything. If you jerk off 10,000 times, I'll bet you find out how to do that shit good. You know? Like, wow, I touched myself there from this angle at this moment. Okay? It doesn't matter what the topic is. You grow some plants. You grow some plants for a week, or you garden for 10 years. You're in a different place, any topic. So what about spell breaking? What about applying 10,000 hours to spell breaking? I've discovered some shit. And if I hadn't discovered some shit that you don't think you know, something would be really weird. But because of the nature of what I know, the very few things that I know I'm here and I'm having experience and it's ongoing. And there's things I prefer and things I don't. Because I'm so simple-minded, perhaps, I get to play in infinite complex mind in a way that most don't. And I get to see some things. And I'm not deluded, Philemon. I'm not deluded to think I know anything you don't. I will just say that probably right now, I'm aware of some things that you have kept yourself from being aware of. So all I'm doing is reminding you of what you always, infinitely, always knew. And I'm neither humble about it nor proud about it, because that's another one of those overlays. So one of the things I've discovered that I will remind you of today and then every session is I'm here. It's going to start to sound familiar. I'm here and I'm having experience and it's ongoing. And there's some things I prefer and there's some things I don't. And while virtually everybody else is unconsciously, unknowingly, inadequately oxygenatedly fretting and stewing and overcomplicating, everything in the universe except for going for what they prefer. And I'm focused on going for what I prefer and helping those who come to me to do the same thing. Simple, profound. So then the question arises, I'm just making this explicit, everybody. I don't think, no, Harold was not on at the beginning when I said, if you're on video, be on video and be sitting still. And so there was a whole lot of motion. It just came into my field of view. So I just turned his video off. You know what? Ryan just jumped up. Let's do this. Let's do this. I know where I'm at. I'm not going to lose track. We're about 2 hours and 12 minutes in. Let's take about a 5-minute pee break. Fill up your water. I recommend that you drink a bunch of water. I recommend that you stretch a bunch and that you breathe deeply. And if I were you, I wouldn't go checking any social media or doing any other. I would just stay present. Go pee. Do what you got to do. Pee. Fill up your water. And I will see you in exactly 5 minutes. You started a trend, Ryan.
Yeah, I had to take care of business there, and I'm sorry for eating, but it's dinner time for me. So.
Well, now if you don't bring enough for everybody, don't bring any at all.
Oh yeah.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Oh, that looks good. Damn. Let's go to Ryan's house. All right, man.
My wife's an amazing vegetarian chef, so.
We're definitely coming over. All right, buddy.
Pause. Thank you.
Well, we can't start till Piera and Samantha get back. You guys had enough. We should just wrap it here, right? Or should we go a little further? Go a little further? A little bit? Just a little bit. Okay. So this going for what you want. One of the discoveries that I made, and I'm gonna go super deep now, so you gotta breathe for your brain to get all of this. When you turn and step towards what you prefer, you rapidly come face to face with everything you ever placed between yourself and that. All of your overlays. All right, so making a note here. So when you turn towards what you prefer, I think I'm going to go for it this time. Cleverly forgetting what happened the last 22 times I started to step towards that fucking thing. Let's pick, and I just love to do this because it pisses women off so much. Kidding. So let's just pretend that you are a heterosexual woman and that you're into dudes and you would really love to have an amazing sexual and intimate, conversational, complete, comprehensive relationship with an amazing guy. But you secretly know you're a crazy bitch. There's no fucking way you're not going to be having no solid, conscious, complete relationship with no fucking amazing man. Why would he want you? If you prefer, I'll do the same. I'll just pick a guy. I'll just pick a guy and do the exact same thing if you prefer. Let's do that. Let's do so that nobody thinks that I'm being an asshole here. Or so everybody can. I want like equal opportunity. Everybody can think I'm an ass, right? So let's just say you're a gay. Just make it, like, twist the whole thing around. You're a gay guy. And you'd like to have an amazing, no, that won't work because okay. So you're a straight guy. And you really want to have an amazing relationship. Conscious, cool. You women feel better now? He was talking about me. How does he know? No, that's not what I was doing. So, so you're a straight guy and you really want to be in an amazing, unbelievable relationship with an amazing, conscious, beautiful to you, sexy woman. Man, you want to have amazing, wild animal sex and deep connection and everything that you can possibly have. Deep conversation and eye gazing that leads to even more amazing sex. You want the whole fucking thing, right? But you know you're a fucking jerk and an idiot who never gets what he wants. And you know what happened with all the other crazy bitches? So you know how women are. And heterosexual women, you know how men are. You know their ways. You know their ways. You know how men are. You know what they do. Let me tell you, sister, I know. And I know too, sister. Let me tell you, sister, I know. We all know how they are. Is there any possibility? I don't want to fuck up your victim story now. But is there any possibility that all of that which you know is just always only those overlays that I was talking about? No, some people are willing to nod their heads on that one. Others are like, no, they are fucking assholes. Let me tell you why. You should see, I can prove it. I got all the evidence. I've done this many times. I'm too ugly. I'm too fat. I'm not smart enough. I'm not sexy enough. I'm too much of a giver. I always get lost in the relationship. I give and give and give, and then they just use and take and take and take. I know how. I know how. I know how. I know. Let me ask you something, boys and girls, aliens and queens and kings and whatever the hell you are. When you were sitting there doing the I am and I'm having, was any of that shit present? Was any of that around in that moment? Nope. I am. I'm having experience. It's ongoing, and there's shit I prefer and shit I don't. So that kind of starts to lead to something here. Now, if I'm the one, if I'm the source and the creator and the creation, then that means that all that is actually arises into being through me. And it is, in fact, the real me. I am all that is and the source of it. Then how could there ever be anything outside of my experience? There's only one possible way. And that's if I decided against it. And I cut it off from myself. Maybe? Maybe? Anybody? 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 I don't know if I want to commit to that. I'm just maybe. I just didn't commit. Just maybe. All right, so I'm offering to you Daniela, who is even more present than she was at the beginning. I'm not sure I like this Brian guy, but I'm not as sure that he's full of shit as I was at the beginning. Peter, still expanding, heard much of this many times and absolutely positively hearing it for the first time. John, been going through some stuff and ready to hear it for the first time. Linda, who has thought, how many fucking times do I have to fucking get this shit before I actually get it? Because I know I got it, but I don't have it. I'm going to tell you what's actually going on, and I don't expect you to agree or anything. I discovered a while back that the number one activity that you've been doing, oh, you just violated my, they're telling me what I'm doing. Well, let's just see. Let's just see. Before you get all triggered and shit. The number one activity of virtually every human being on this seeming planet, the number one investment of your time, talent, skills, energy, knowledge, expertise, and infinite potential, the number one thing you have practiced and polished more than anything else, the number one investment of your infinite creative energy, which can bring anything and everything into being. Number one. And just so I can sound smart, numero uno. You hear how I did that bilingually? That was pretty impressive, wasn't it? Numero fucking uno. The number one thing you've been putting your time, talent, energy, skills, focus, and energy into is pretending you're not already the whole universe. What did he say? I'm not sure that I heard that completely. Yes, you did. But there's more. To do that, what you have to do is take your infinite, unlimited, eternal, creative ability and use it for something else. What have you been doing? Well, I'm going to propose a possibility. I'm going to say that you've been desperately, frantically, masterfully beyond. I mean, fucking Da Vinci and Michelangelo, they had nothing on you, baby. With your unbelievably, impeccably masterful ability to make sure you don't fucking breathe. To guarantee that you don't feel those feelings. And so you build infinitely elaborate structures and grapevines, unbelievable complexity, billions and trillions of quadrillions of connections, linking this to that and this to that, so that you can be completely distracted by that and never look at what you want and prefer because it hurts too much. And people say, well, I'd like to learn to manifest. Bitch, look at the fucking universe. You're doing perfect. You ain't got to learn to manifest nothing. You couldn't do better. You might aim a little more of it towards, I don't know, what you prefer, maybe. I don't know. Just a thought. So at this juncture, I can drop in my picture of the universe, the paradigm that I have for the universe. I say, what if the universe? Aren't you glad I started with a question rather than a statement? What if the universe is the reflection and the projection of everything you think and believe that you know on every topic, everything you ever learned, everything you ever bought? Projected here and there, seemingly out there, the vast majority of which is hidden from you by you, because there ain't nobody else here to do it. Hidden from you by you in what you call the unconscious. Not my fault, it's unconscious, I can't see it. Much of that tangled up in emotions that you don't want to feel. All spinning into infinite complex structures that give you the perfect excuse. It's not me. It wasn't meant to be. It just wasn't meant to be. I guess there was a lesson in it. If you don't have any circuits frying right now, just breathe a little deeper. Trust me, you'll smell smoke in a minute. What if the universe is the reflection and the projection of everything I think I know? Wait. What if the universe all of it is merely always and only the reflection and the projection of the infinite light arising from eternity, which is infinite possibilities with no change, arising into this seeming time and space so that we can have an experience. Wait a fucking minute. I'm here having experience, which is ongoing, leading to a contrast of some things I prefer and some things I don't. But how the fuck I get here? Infinite, unlimited being, I am, said, let there be. And I project out of eternity as infinite possibilities into a seeming separate bag of skin with an ego and a separate perspective. And what if everything coming into being is actually the light of infinite being projecting through everything I think and believe that I know, the vast majority of which is hidden from me by me, much of which is tangled up in emotions that I don't want to feel? Oh, shit! Some of you ain't gonna smile no matter what I do, but I'm gonna get you. Yeah, you know I'm talking to you. So eventually, some of you are gonna smile. Some of you're gonna like, oh, damn. Breathe a little deeper, a little smoother. Rihanna, your cat approves, and that just tells me all I need to know. Because that cat has got its shit together. Pets love these sessions. Absolutely. They're like, thank you, Brian. This bitch is crazy. I've been waiting for somebody. I'm not kidding. I am, but I'm not. I'm really not. And I love your cat, Annie. God, that didn't sound right. If you see the comment, it'll make more sense. No, don't go there. I'll be going there later anyway, not so much on the first session. I gotta at least like keep you guys around for a week or two before I go all the way there, I think. So, infinite unlimited being projecting out of eternity into time and space. Made of what? Light, the only thing there is, which is love, which is the only thing there is. Has no opposite. Oh, one of the overlays, one of the primary overlays that they got into me. Wait, there's no they, unless I made that as an overlay. But anyway, that seeming they, they did, oh, fuck, wait a minute. Okay, let's start over again. So I'm here, I'm having experience. I gotta stay grounded here. I'm here, I'm having experience. It's ongoing, and there's some things I would prefer to experience and some things I don't prefer to experience. How'd I get here? Oh yeah, that's right. Infinite, unlimited light projecting out of eternity, which is inexhaustible. That's why it's all inexhaustible. There's only light and love, and everything else is a misperception. But I thought that there was an opposite of everything, including love, because that's one of the overlays, is the idea of opposites. Maybe everything doesn't have an opposite. Wait, opposite means opposing, against each other. If there's only one, how could there be anything to oppose another thing? Oh, politics. Two fucking poles against each other. It's an overlay. Nothing more. I might want to calm down, chill the fuck out, and become present to this thing and find myself that it's okay for me to experience what I prefer. So now is the time for me to ask the question, is there anyone here in this program? Let's make sure this is the program for you. Is there anyone here who would like to experience less of what they prefer? Oh, some people were not listening, but that's okay. That's okay. That's why I asked it. Is there anyone here who would like intentionally to experience less of what they prefer more of. Are you sure? Because I'm going to tell you a little secret here. Up until now, you have been absolutely positively committed to experiencing less of what you prefer. Because you knew the pain that came with it. Because you learned it. And you would say cleverly and intelligently and very convincingly to most, yo, my past experience has taught me. No, it didn't teach you a fucking thing. You learned it. But if you're going to consider the possibility that you're the infinite, unlimited one projecting out of eternity into time and space, you're going to have to let go of the idea that anybody did it to you. Might not want to do that quite yet. I kind of like the idea that there's bad people out there, that it wasn't me. Really? Well, then you're totally fucked. You're completely fucked. Because what if they do it more? But if I take absolute, utter, total responsibility, wait, responsibility means blame and punishment. And no, it doesn't. Responsibility means the ability to fucking respond. You learned from your crazy ass parents, like I learned from my crazy ass parents, which I created to be crazy so I could have this experience of limitation. Fuck! Well, that was all me the whole time. Sometimes I just stand around with my mouth open. I don't know why. What the fuck? It was me the whole time. Either Hafiz or Rumi or Tagore, one of the Sufi mystic poets, said, and it's one of my favorite quotes, and you're going to probably hear me say it 40 or 50 or at least one time. I awakened to find that my only tormentor all along was that part of me left over from yesterday. I awakened to find that my only tormentor all along was that part of me left over from yesterday. And a lot of people in the social media age would take that quote and put it with a pretty picture and share that motherfucker quick, lest they actually look at it and think about it for a minute and be benefited by it. But around here, we might look at it for a minute. Wait, what? I awakened to what? To find what? My only tormentor all along was what? That part of me left over from yesterday. Well, then hang on a minute. Let me see what part of me could be left over from yesterday. Everything I think and believe that I fucking know, other than I'm in phenomenally limited being here, having experience that's ongoing, and there's shit I prefer and shit I don't. Everything else is the bullshit left over from yesterday that isn't real. Everything I think and believe that I know, the vast majority of which is hidden from me, by me, in what I call my unconscious, which I invented to make it even more real, so that I wouldn't feel the emotions that I don't want to fucking feel because I think they would kill me. Could it be that simple? Could it? Really? Some of that shit's kind of convincing, ain't it? You ever seen that Texas-sized thing of plastic in the ocean? It's gonna come get us. You ever heard about those nuclear bombs? They're all gonna blow up and just get us. Mandatory vaccinations, they're all gonna get us. The mark of the beast is gonna get us. Bill fucking Gates is gonna get us. Fauci. Who? What if all of that is the reflection and the projection of what I think and believe that I know? reflecting what I think and believe that I know and the feelings that I don't want to feel. What if it never could be any other or any more than that? What if? Is it possible? Would you consider that it could be possible? I'm not asking if it's true. You consider the possibility, because the minute you consider the possibility, you start to unknow what you knew. So we got born, and I'm so sorry. We got born, but I'm not really sorry. So you said, let there be. And so you created the illusion of a past and things that pre-exist you so that you could have the illusion of being born into something that's bigger than you, older than you, and stronger than you. And the vast majority of us were born into an absolutely, utterly fucking delusional, insane, cut and burn medical system that taught our mom to lay in a posture where it's impossible to have a baby without paying a doctor to get the motherfucker out of you in the most uncomfortable, painful way. So, well, let's have some epidural stuck up in there while we're at it. So we can be completely unconscious and suffer way more. And then somebody either got cut open or they stuck some metal forceps up in her pussy and squeezed you around the fucking head and jerked you out, jerked you up by the feet and slapped your ass so that your first breath, anybody talk about breath here today? Your first breath would be started from pain. And then they whisk you away from your mother, who your whole nature is to be gently pulled out in a quiet, loving space, laid on her belly, and stay in her field for the first 6 months of your life, never pulled away. But no, they pull you away and take you around other scared babies and jab your ass full of poisons. Yay! If you're a boy, you get part of your cock ripped off while they hold you down. It's the worst rape imaginable. Torture beyond belief. That's what we got born into. Welcome to Earth. Might want to breathe. Do you know how much you learned in the womb? Do you know how much of your paradigms and your rules and your overlays, every time your mom thought, I don't want to bring a kid into this crazy fucking life, and you said, I'm unwanted. Must be something wrong with me. That time when dad was really pissed off and he accidentally elbowed her in the stomach, hoping it would terminate you early. Can't trust men. If there's one phrase that I hear from people that, especially that wanting to live a bigger life, everybody has a fear of putting themselves out there. I really think that probably happened when you were in the fucking womb. I don't want to put myself out there. These bitches are crazy. I do not want to go out there. Now, I have great news. Anytime you want, you can give yourself a rebirth the way you prefer and unmake the whole damn thing. Somebody who loves me and loves themselves, after the session, private message me which session it was where I did the talk about this, and then I did the general birth, and I'll make that a bonus in this program. One of you knows who it is. A few of you might know. So is this making sense to anybody? Besides me, is it just me? I mean, come on, make me feel good here. Somebody agree with me. You think you'd get this much out of the entire program? Some of you that are letting yourself get what's in front of you, don't worry. Plenty of chances. So then, as if life weren't already wonderful enough on day one, we learned with our family, we learned a few things. We learned it's not okay to be. It's not okay to be me, for sure. It's not okay to be me and want anything. That shit is not welcome around here. The only thing worse than that is it's not okay to be me wanting something and asking for it, because, oh, they showed me what happens when I fucking ask for what I want. Do you remember? And the only thing worse than being me, wanting and asking for what I want is fucking getting it. Yeah, because then they take it from me. They beat me with it. They use it against me. They say, well, now I'm giving you this, but you can't take it to your friend's house. You have to leave it here. What the fuck? You give it to me, bitch? It's mine. You didn't really give it to me then, did you? Well, I'm giving it to you, but I'll tell you how you can use it. Do you understand how crushing, soul devastating that is to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old? No, because you push that shit down into the unconscious so that you don't think about it or feel it. And then, wonder of wonders, as if life couldn't get better, you expressed your feelings sometimes. You expressed that sadness, and they said, I'll give you something to cry about. And you expressed your fear, and they made you do it anyway, telling themselves that they were going to make you strong. And you expressed your anger, and they went, my anger is way bigger than yours, you little fool. And the only thing worse than that is when we expressed our joy, and they said, could you shut up that fucking racket? And we said, I don't want to exist. And you learned. Yes, you did. You learned that your feelings weren't welcome. And there's only one way to not feel them. Stop breathing. And you did. And you mastered it. And you've put more hours into practicing and mastering how to not feel your feelings by not breathing than you ever put into learning the fucking tuba. Or how to drive, or how to get that PhD. You got a PhD in how to not breathe. Telling you. Sheepskin all over your fucking walls. And from that moment, all that energy has gone into ever more complicated structures to prevent you from ever being responsible, because on top of it all, you learn that you're responsible for that. You learn responsible was a bad goddamn thing. Responsible means I have the ability to respond. It's the one fucking thing I got left in this shitty, miserable fucking world that it looks like I'm in. I have the ability to respond, and you just turned that shit into a nightmare by teaching me that responsibility means pain and punishment and shame and blame and fuck, kill me now. Hadn't it been a fun ride up to this moment? So, you said, That whole going for what I prefer thing, fuck that. That only leads to pain. But I can't stop the goddamn ride. So what am I going to do? Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still having experience. It's still ongoing. But I can't let my feelings out. So I'll just stop breathing and I'll pretend I don't want anything. And I'll join as many anti-groups as I can on Facebook so that I can distract myself. But they say that the universe taps to get your attention. And then if you don't listen, it knocks. And then if you don't listen, it pulls out the fucking 2x4. And all the spiritual fucks said amen. But it's not true. It's all you. The little hurt yous from every moment of pain, mental, emotional, and physical, every single time that you ever got hurt, in the womb and after, every single time, you froze in that moment at that age, in time and space. And every one of those little hurt yous is projecting out into the world around you to bring up the feelings so you will finally feel the feelings. Dissolve that frozen moment, retrieve your energies from the pain, and find I am here now, having experience. It's ongoing. What do I prefer now? Let's go for it. You got to retrieve those energies from what you made, the illusion. And that necessitates that you admit that it's all you and you stop blaming anybody or anything. And you say, but if I forgive them, they will have won. No, not true. Not true. If you forgive them, you have won. And you'll get to remember that they were you the whole time, giving you a chance to feel that feeling. So what if every person who ever hurt you was actually a part of you, giving you an opportunity to finally feel that feeling that you've been avoiding your whole life? Wait, you mean that husband I had that beat the shit out of me, forgive that motherfucker? Yeah. You mean that dad that showed me that I was a worthless piece of shit, forgive that bastard? Oh yeah. You're saying that they were me, giving me a chance to feel feelings that I've been not feeling? Yeah, but I'm not saying you have to believe me. You're welcome to be a victim as long as you want to suffer. So why don't I go for what I want? Because I know it's going to hurt. But do you know that? Do you know that it hurts? Or does going for what you want give you the chance to feel the feeling that's between you and what you want because you put it there? Is it possible that everything you ever thought and believed that you knew was an error? I'm asking. And whenever I ask yes or no questions, if you answer it out loud, you will serve yourself. You don't have to worry about me or anybody else, what we think. If someone's in the room and they hear you just say yes, yeah, I said yes. And if they look at you like you're weird and you feel uncomfortable, that means that they were there doing everything I just said. They were giving you a chance to feel that feeling of discomfort so that you could finally get on the other side of it. Is there any possibility that the person who hurt you the most was a cell in your body serving you the most? I'm going to move towards wrapping up this session here. I know some of you are very glad. So imagine the possibility that every human being that exists is a cell in the body of human. Imagine every human being that exists. Breathe and relax. Imagine the possibility that every human being that exists is a cell in the body of human. And as you wrestle with that just a little bit, like, I don't know. Just imagine this. Here's my terrible joke. I just love this joke, so I tell it. And I have a captive audience. You fuckers paid me. Huh? You got to hear me tell the joke. All right, so imagine one day that a liver cell was talking in your liver. A liver cell was speaking to another liver cell. And trust me, they do it all the time. And one of them said, dude, bunch of fucking conspiracy theorists around here. And the other cell said, what do you mean? Dude, I just heard one of the other liver cells. We all know it's just us here, but one of the other liver cells was saying they believe in liver. Can you fucking believe it? And the other one said, dude, I heard one of them talking about body. Fuckers are crazy. If you don't get that, you will. So what if we're all cells in the body and everyone is a cell in my body and I'm a cell in everyone's body? Because everyone is the infinite unlimited one. The cut and burn medical system says, kill that cancer. This virus is an enemy. We're all being attacked by the enemy. I see it's a cell in my body sending me a signal. What if the person that you're convinced is the most evil, disgusting, bad person ever is a cell in your body signaling something to give you an opportunity to feel your feelings, but you keep blaming them and blinding yourself to yourself? How about that? Then that would mean that love is the answer. Darn it. And so my wrap for today's session is this. Love is all that is, projecting out of eternity into time and space to have an experience. Everything else is an error in perception. It's a misperception. All that's here is love. That's all that's here. It's just love. It doesn't have an opposite. Bombs dropping out of the sky and splattering babies' bodies is either love or an error of perception. Monsanto and Bayer spraying poison that gets in our food and our drinking water is either love or an error of perception. And if I will consider the possibility that it is all arising from me, then I can ask, well, why did I choose that? How did I choose that? Where did I choose that? Do I still choose that? What would I prefer? And I can begin to move towards what I prefer without having to make anything wrong or bad or evil or blind myself by judging and labeling it, which prevents me from seeing what it actually is. And I'm going to propose that you're here with me because you're ready to finally hear that shit. While there are people outside of this call that would gather around to kill me in a minute if they heard me say that they were responsible, because they're convinced beyond the shadow of a doubt the responsibility is the devil. we should be standing up for the victims from the oppressor. And I will never in a million years admit that that's all coming from me. That's their song. And it has been said, I'm not saying it's true. It has been said that if we don't reach down with love and pull them up, all those motherfuckers are going to pull us down. And everything else down with them. And that's great consciousness thing about humanity. It's just that I can go even beyond that and realize that it's still all me. All those voices are my voice calling to the real me. Excuse me, Brian, I'm just letting you know that you believe this is possible. Do you still want to continue believing this? So, not a bad first session, whatever that would be. Almost 3 hours. Got to talk about a little tiny bit more than breathing. Love you too, Erica. So every session I will, as quickly as is convenient and workable for me, I render it, upload it. I'll make a YouTube playlist that will be in the announcement post. Whenever you log into the group, the first time you logged in, you saw the post, the announcement post. Now, because it's announcement, you'll actually have to click announcements at the top of the group and you'll see, and that's where all these links and everything are. And there will be a playlist emerging there with all the sessions. There's also going to be bonuses that get added because I'm fucking awesome. You made me that way. And I'm going to be drowning you in love, and the good news is you can't die. So I'm going to be drowning you in love and awesomeness. And I encourage you to watch the sessions again and again. Basically, my advice would be just exit your miserable, fucked up life. It sucked anyway. And just get level 5. Just get in there. And I'm joking and I'm not. Just get in there and soak it up. Watch sessions. Breathe. Watch the breathing videos. Set a damn reminder on your phone, as many have, that goes off around your wake up every single morning, and just go watch the breathing videos again. Sit and breathe with me until it actually becomes second nature, reminding you that it's your first nature. If you had any idea how many reminders you have set up around yourself to remind you that you're fucked up, stupid, fat, ugly, loser, piece of shit, selfish, disgusting, perverted, slut, whore, asshole, jerk, fucktard, idiot, or something serious. If you had any idea how many reminders you have set up around yourself to remind you of that, you would understand early in the process the value of setting up some reminders that your love, having an experience that's ongoing, and that you can step towards what you prefer and dissolve the illusion. Your call. If you are using cannabis, caffeine, alcohol, any drugs, or anything like that, if you've been escaping to movies or TV, you know if you have, and don't blame yourself. Well, what the hell, after what you've been through, how could you not? Just let yourself right off the hook, right from the start. If you've been using any of those things, I am going to strongly recommend that you reduce, but don't try to reduce or get rid of it. Just start doing something that serves you more, and you'll find yourself wanting and needing it less. Nothing wrong with any of those things. And last of all for today, right on, Kurt, I just want to remind you, you're actually perfect, infinite, unlimited, eternal energy. There isn't anything wrong with you. I'm sorry to bust the bubble. There's nothing wrong with you. The very concept of wrong with you is it's just an overlay. There could never, infinite, unlimited, perfect, eternal energy, you can't be created or destroyed. You can't be right or wrong or good or bad or better or worse or positive and negative. You can't, none of that shit is real at all. It's just ideas in your mind. The more present you become, the more the overlays dissolve, the more present you become breathing, the more you breathe through and dissolve all those emotions and find yourself being, existing, ongoing, able to prefer what you prefer until you wake up so much that there's only love. But that's not in the future. It's just a matter of you waking back up to it whenever you're ready. Somebody just sent me a private message, and that is awesome news to me as well. So I love you. If you want to, let's do this. It's all totally good, Harold. Absolutely no problem. And you weren't on when I said it, man. No problem whatsoever. I'm gonna unmute everybody, and everybody, if you just want to throw some love at each other or whatever, let's do that. Go ahead.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye
See you
bye.
next week. Bye, Elaine.
Bye, lady. Bye, Samantha. Guys.
Bye,
Love you guys.
Aloha. See you soon.
Love you. Bye. Love you.
Love.
Love you.